Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome again to my basement gym. This is Stretch and Relax. We're going to use a strap quite a bit today for some things, so have a strap handy. It would be wonderful if your strap had loops to it. If it does not, maybe it has a buckle part to create a loop, or if you don't even have a strap, a belt would work great and kind of string it through, because we're going to use the length of it, and I'm going to have it around our ankle today for some stretches, okay? If you are a little bit balance challenged today, having a chair handy would be great, or just make sure you have a wall close by. I'm going to use the wall periodically to help me with some of the standing poses and the strap, because we will be on one leg, and I just want to give you that heads up so you're not like surprised, like, ooh, I don't have what I need ready. So just have a chair handy, have a strap, get a belt, create a loop in it. If you don't have any of that, a towel. So just find what you can, something a little bit longer. That way you have that length for when the hips are a little tight and you can't quite grab the full strap when it's only looped this far. That's why I kind of like the handles. So I do have my block handy, so in case we ever use that. Most of my classes, I just come in with the thought of, I feel a little tight here. I bet you other people feel a little tight there too. And so it's a little bit freeform. So when I say I'm going to do something, it's something I definitely practice, but a lot of it, I just feel inspired. So I hope this goes well for you as much as I'm looking forward to it myself. So why don't we get started? So hopefully you have some soft music playing in your background. I have a little soft music in my background, but it's pretty quiet. Just want us to get into that quiet space, get out of our head a little bit as far as any thoughts, any to-do lists, any stressors, work, life, everything. So I just want us to get into that relaxation part. So comfy clothes, comfy mat, and again, shoes on or off, your personal preference. Again, no right, no wrong, just different. I'm just going to let my body weight shift forward and back. And then let my body weight settle more into my heels. My big toe is still anchored, my pinky toe is resting down. I'm not backward lifting up, and I can wiggle these guys. It's just my body weight's a little bit more in my heels. Now, let's put our hands on our hips, okay? Let's push our tailbone out, like we're scooping up, making a shelf. And now tuck the tailbone under a whole bunch. Feel how it changes within the hips. Stick it out and tuck it under. So we're taking that tailbone and putting it down to the ground. Stick it out. And then tuck it under to where you feel the fronts of your thighs feel a little bit shortened. You can feel gentle activation in the belly. Now hand on our sternum, one hand on the belly, or actually kind of right on the ribs. I want us to lift our sternum up without lifting the ribs out. So we're not doing this. It's more of this. The hand stays here. And basically all I'm doing is taking my shoulder blades. I'm drawing my shoulder blades together a little bit, and I'm pulling my shoulder blades down. Good. Keep this posture. Sternum gently lifted to our nose. Our ribs are stitched to our hips. And let the hands fall. Good. Your hands may still be facing your side or even a little rotated backwards. It just means we're a little tight in our shoulders, and our shoulders are internally rotated. Once we get good and warm, hopefully that opens up. You can see how my hand turns from facing back to good shoulder posture where the shoulder just rotates back and down, squeezing the shoulder blade together. You can see my arm, my elbow opens up a little bit, and my palm opens up a little bit. That's what we'd like to shoot for. It sets up the shoulders in a healthy position. Standing here in our version of mountain pose, Yours is yours personally. Let's close our eyes, okay? If you don't want to close your eyes, it's okay. But try to close them. Just want you to focus on how your body feels right now. Where are you tight? Where are you sore? How odd does it feel to stand in this mountain pose? We would love in time and practice to change the strangeness of this pose, because the more comfortable it becomes, the more stacked our posture is. We reduce some strain in our neck, we reduce some strain in our low back. Maybe we feel that right shoulder's a little bit buggered up today, or our left knee is a little sore and tight. Paying attention to those today. Maybe being a little bit gentler in our poses and our stretching. It's okay. Focusing on our breathing. Inhaling fully. And exhaling fully. As we inhale and exhale, feel the belly raise and expand like a balloon, all sides. And then feel our torso just fall in on itself as we exhale. So if we had a big wide belt loose around us, we want to inhale and touch every corner of that belt. Every curve, feel it. And exhaling, everything releases away from that imaginary loop around our waist. With each exhalation, let tension fall away. Let your facial muscles relax. Shoulders sinking more away from our ears. Wiggle out those fingertips. And let all tension fall away. Use your breath whenever you feel stressed, anxious, angry, frustrated within your day. I promise you it will help some. It may not fix, but taking back some control can give you just that little bit of power to maybe push over the hump. Let's open our eyes. Good. Smile a little bit. No one's around here to look at you. Smiling is actually a great, great step in feeling better, boosting your morale, boosting your self-confidence. It just feels good. Let's grab our straps, okay? Let's grab our straps comfortable distance apart. If we put one arm at noon and the other arm at 3 o'clock, grab right there. That's a great starting point, okay? That way you kind of have a great idea of how much should I choke in on this thing. If we go noon, 3 o'clock, and then grab a hold and get the arms right there, and then bring it over our head, it's a great starting point. From here, I just want us to take the strap to the crown of our head and lower down. Let's pay attention to our arm bones. As we come up, can we rotate those arm bones, screw them into the shoulder? How we want to screw them in is, I want you to just take a look at the arms right here. Rotate the arm bones so the back of the arms face me more than the bicep, the front of our arms. So rotate those arm bones in that socket and then come back down. So inhale, screw the arms into the shoulders, shoulder blades pulled down, and lower. We're going to do 4 more. Shoulder blades pulled down. There's 3. Screw the arm bones down into the shoulder joint. There's 2. just to the crown head. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. One more time. We're going to build onto this with some standing crescent. So coming to here, screw the arm bones down, rotate the back of the arms towards me. And now making sure our tailbone is tucked under, our weight is a little bit more in our heel. Let's pull the right strap down, lifting the left arm up, pushing the left ribs out, flare the ribs apart, pushing through our left leg. Good. Exhale. Inhale, center. And exhale, changing sides. Pull the left arm down, reach the right arm to the ceiling, flaring out our right ribs. Again, tailbone is tucked under. Weight is a little bit more in our heels. Separating those ribs. Exhale. And inhale, lifting. And come down. Let's do that 4 more times each side. So lift. Hold, press. Tailbone under. Inhale. Exhale. Pull and press. Separate the ribs. Inhale and lower. Let's do that again. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, press. Separate the ribs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, separate the ribs. Push the hips out. Inhale and lower again. One more time for fun and giggles. Big lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Push the hips out. Wonderful. Good. Can we take the strap fully over and back? If we need to, work the hands down the strap. Not flaring the ribs. Smooth transition. Up overhead and down. If you cannot do this, you get to a sticking point where you get here and it's like, I can't go, my arms are too tight. Bend one elbow. And my right arm is getting the work. And then I'm going to bend my right elbow so my left arm can get that work. Okay? 2 more times. Last one. Let's take the straps behind us. I just want us to work our way in. Turn the back of our hands is just on the outside corner of our hips, or took us just right there. And now again, finding that nice balance. We're in our heels more, knees are soft, tailbones tucked under. Lift the sternum and shoulder blades, pull back and down. Just want us to take the strap, lift it away, and return. That's all. It's not very big. Notice I'm not doing this. I'm not turning my shoulders in. Still tall posture. Pulling on the strap like we want to tear it in 2. We're just going to squeeze the shoulder blades together even more. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. One more time. Squeeze and lift. Good. Rest here for a moment. Shake those shoulders out. Poor posture. Good posture. Set it up. Good. Still gripping the strap. What I'd love for us to do is just elevate our shoulders and then down. Reaching our fist closer to the floor. Lift and lower and reaching our fist a little closer to the floor. Lift and reaching the fist closer to the floor. One more time. Big lift. And lower, reaching the fist as close as we can. Let that strap scoot down our back sides. Notice I'm not slumping back. It's all about our shoulders. Now let's pull this band apart. We want to tear it in two. And just gently lift away and hold. Good. Let's slide our hands nice and wide. Make a little loop. And we're going to pull up our thumb towards the base of our shoulder blade. And lower. And switch. Can you pull your thumb to the base of your shoulder blade? If you can, wonderful. You can sneak up a little bit higher. If you're not quite there, that's okay. Go to the point to where you feel gentle tension but no discomfort. For me, it's different. This side can do it wonderfully. This is my bum shoulder. And I can get about right there, and I start feeling this nasty tightness right here. And that's my body saying stop. It's okay. This is perfectly fine. Let's do one more time each side. Drawing the thumb up to the shoulder blade. And lower. And drawing the thumb up towards the shoulder blade. And lower. Good. One more time. Let's see if this is a little bit easier. Maybe you can scoot in on the strap a little bit more. We'll do 3 more. Two more times. Last one. Good. Let's put our straps down. We're going to work a little bit on our thoracic mobility. Really hit the shoulders. Now we're going to get into the spinal column from our ribs up. Let's come to the floor, and if you need to, make a wrinkle in your mat. Me, I'm okay. My mats are doubled up, so I have 2 here. So if that's some investment you want to do, mats are not that horribly expensive, or you can even lay a towel and put your mat on top of it. What I want us to do is I'm going to face you for this, because we're going to take our right leg, step it forward to a lunge, and take our fingertips on our shoulders. From here, I just want us to rotate till we feel that tension, and we don't open up our hip. Our hips are squared to the edge of our mat, keeping it square, okay? Tailbone under. Just rotate till we feel that resistance. Now we want us to dip and pour water out of the elbow. Lift. And rotate just a little bit more. Push this hip towards me though. Don't open up the hip. Pinky square. Find that resistance. And a little tip. And one more time. Can we come a little bit further? Ooh, right there. One more tip. Just a little tip, pouring water out of our elbow. And can we do just one little one? There. Extending the arms out to a T. Lift up. Big stretch up. And float those arms down. Let's change sides. Again, feel free to make a wrinkle, put a pillow underneath your knee if that bothers you. We're going to put our fingertips on our shoulders. And again, rotating towards our right. Stopping when we feel that resistance. We don't want to keep going and open up the hip. The hips are all parallel with the front edge of our mat. So right there, I feel that resistance. So I'm going to pour water out of my elbow and lift. A little bit more rotation until I feel that resistance. Pause. And I'll pour water out from the elbow. And lifting. And can we go one more time? Right there. And pour the water. Maybe one last time. There. That's it. Let's extend our arms out to a letter T. Come back to front, lift up. And float those arms down. Good job. Not quite done with working with that thoracic spine. I've got one more for us. And let's come, excuse me, to hands and knees. It's a hiccupy kind of day. So again, make that wrinkle in the mat if you need to. We're going to thread the needle. So hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. Just give the hips a little sway, a little wiggle side to side. Loosen up that lower back. Good. Now, let's see if you're closest to me. Point to me. Push through the floor. Open up your chest a little bit towards me. Now, keeping the hips and the belly button pointing downward, we're going to scoop through. Hand touches the floor. Let's reach to the back wall. Let the elbow bend. And then back out. Point towards me. And then pushing through the floor to open. And again. One more time. Open. And then reach. Come down onto the ear and the shoulder. My hand still rests right by my shoulder because I don't want to put my full body weight into that shoulder. It's not very nice. So let the hand be right here and take some of that body weight. Breathing into the tension. This is getting a little bit more into my low back. So I'm going to slide that shoulder out underneath me a little bit more. Breathing into the tension. Press up and changing sides. So back to hands and knees. Now the hand facing away from us, we just point straight out. Now pushing through the floor. Open up the chest to the wall. And then scooping through. Hand on the floor as we sneak into rotation. Point, then press. One more time. And again, coming down onto the shoulder and the ear. Hand here. Take off some of that body weight. Breathe into the tension within our spine. Releasing that tension. Good. Let's press out from the floor. Good. From hands and knees, let's just make a little crescent, shortening the rib and the hip distance. Lifting our belly muscles up. Don't let the belly muscles sag. One more time, side to side. Good. Let's come up onto our knees. We'll step the leg closest to the back wall forward. Tailbones tucked under. And now slowly shifting our weight forward. We don't want to collapse into the low back. We want that low back to be tucked under. We want to develop a beautiful stretch right here within the hip. Good. Pause right here. Now, I should have cued you, but my block is right here. I'm going to sneak my block in. My hand on the highest position. I'm going to point towards you. You point towards me, and now push through the block to open. One more for thoracic spine. Come back to the block. Come back to the focus here. Tug that tailbone under firmly. Walking our hand up the thigh. And releasing. Let's change sides. So, coming into a lunge, let's tuck our tailbone under. Again, we don't want to let it relax back. Hold it under. Now shifting our weight forward, feeling that delicious blossom of tension within the front of our hip. And now for a little thoracic spine love, placing our hands on the block. Feel free to adjust the height for you. We're going to point to the wall and then rotate open. Tailbone still tucked under. And releasing. Good. Let's move that block out of the way. Come back up and we'll walk ourselves in. Coming back to the other side one more time. Tailbone tucks under. Shifting our weight forward into that lunge. But this time, let's just bring our hands inside the big toe. Now allow this knee to fall open. Let it fall towards the back. Maybe this is too much. Maybe your low back is kind of rounding up like a turtle. You may elevate yourself a little bit by using the block. That's going to take your lower back from here to here and allowing us to sink. And I just want us to wiggle. Just wiggle around. Wiggle out the tension within the hip joint. Breathe. A little side to side wiggle, back and forth. And let's walk our hands up and back. And we change sides again. Coming into that lunge, tailbone under. Shifting our weight forward, feeling that delicious tension start to blossom in that hip again. And then coming down inside of our big toe. Feel free to use the block. If your back looks like this, when you're doing it, you're rounding. It's not allowing you to sink your hip. Elevate yourself to where you can take your hip and push it through. From there, just kind of wiggle around. Find that wonderful blossom, that tension that just would feel good if you just kind of worked it out. Good job. Let's walk ourselves back and up. And supporting our foot, let's curl our toes under and step in. Grab a quick sip. And let's grab our straps. This is the point where if you do have an issue with balance, feel free to get that chair or just make sure your wall is handy, okay? So we're going to progress down towards our hips now and do a little hip mobility. So we just got done doing a little bit of mobility. We're going to build onto that. Let's take our straps. The loop goes around our right ankle. Okay? Feel free to grab your chair or use your wall. What I'd like us to do, it's kind of a standing figure four. There we go. What I want us to do is lift our ankle till it's above our knee, flexing the foot, and hang on to the strap. What I want us to do is take this knee, push our hips through, and rotate that knee so it points down to the ground. Now, if this is enough tension for you, wonderful. Some people can take that foot and bring it all the way up here. I want you to find what feels good for you. I used to be able to do that. Mobility, like everything else, can come and go. Right now, I need it more than ever. Again, weight is a little bit more in our heels. Our tailbone is tucked under. We can get a little bit more pull on that strap if we want, but push the hips towards me. Rotate, open up the knee towards the ground. Chair is here so I don't fall on my face. Breathing through the tension within the hip. The foot is flexed. I'm not letting it be lax. And then slowly let it slide down. And we're going to take the strap and move it to the outside of our ankle as we come into quad stretch. We feel a blossom of tension here. And if this is wonderful enough for you, great, stay here. If you'd like, you can take it into overhead. Flex the foot, push the heel out. Soft knee as we hip hinge. Just a modified dancer's pose. You can take both straps or both hands on the strap if you want, and Yoda tug. Again, many things you could do. Maybe this is enough, but again, tailbone tucked under. We're not arcing in our low back. Tailbone under. Otherwise, we lose the benefit. Pinky swear. For me, this is wonderful right here. Feel free to advance, or feel free to be even down here. No right, no wrong, just different. Let's release slowly to the floor. Step it out, shake it out. That supporting leg did work when we stretched out our hip. And we're going to do the same thing other side. I'm going to slip my foot through as we do our figure four. Bringing the ankle above the knee, pushing the hips through, rotating the knee down to the ground. I have my chair for my balance if I need it. A wall close by would be perfect too. You can rest your hand against the wall. Tuck the tailbone under firmer. Open up that hip. Breathe. Let's slide the leg down. And bring the strap to the outside. And coming into our quadricep stretch. Again, if this is what you got, wonderful. Tailbone's tucked under, our low back is long. Don't let the low back slump. Tuck it under. If the sensation isn't enough for you, you don't feel that blossom of tension, it's pretty stretched, feel free to extend. Push the heel up, okay? Don't collapse in the low back. Keep that low back long. Maybe this will work for you. Maybe down here is better for you. Okay? No right, no wrong, just different. Find what position gives you great stretch sensation here without compromising your low back. Okay? Hips take a lot of punishment. We sit a lot. And that shortens those muscles, making them tight, making this a challenge, but also causing low back pain. So wheel that out, shake it out. Beautiful. Put our straps down. I'm going to put my chair away. We won't be needing it. Let's grab up our blocks. Let's have a seat on our blocks. Continuing on with our hips. It's a little hip low day today. Have a seat on your sit-upon. And it's a hiccup day. What I'd love for us to do, if we have our blocks, sitting on the block, try not to sit fully square on it, but kind of scoot your tuchus forward so you're on the front edge of it. It's going to allow those hips to tip and open up, because if this is how I sit when I'm on a block, my knees are down, I feel real comfortable in my back, my hips don't feel super tight, compared to I sit on the floor, my hips are so tight that my knees pop up and I feel like I'm slumping. So the block is a wonderful aid. And again, if you don't have a block, a pillow works just as well. Let's crisscross our legs. I'm lining up my heel with my heel. You don't have to. You can do crisscross applesauce. You can have your legs further out. Just find what's comfortable for you. Note what foot is in front. And just kind of rock your hips on the block. Kind of wiggle them out. Now try this. Switch what foot is in front. Did you notice the difference? One side feels a little bit tighter than the other, or maybe looser. This side's my tighter side. Or is it my looser side? And come back. Give it a wiggle. Let's stay here and do some seated twists. So sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back, sternum lifted, ribs stitched in towards the hips. Let's place our right hand on the floor next to us, left hand outside the knee, and wring out that towel slowly. Start with the very low part of the spine. And now move it up towards the middle part, our thoracic spine and our ribs, and now our neck. So we wring it out. Do that final twist. Good. Hold for 3 breaths. Lift up the sternum. Tailbone is grounded. Hips are level. And slowly releasing. We'll do the same thing other side. I really would love it if you would break down the twist. I know some people just go right into that twist. They immediately look that way. Your head is a part of your spine. Make it the last thing you wring out. So, starting with here, we're going to do the lower back. Rotate, rotate, stop. Now, middle part of our spine. Rotate, rotate, rotate the shoulders. And then finally the head. Look a little further. Hips are level, tailbone down, sternum lifted, wring out that towel. And slowly release. Let's change what foot is in front. And we'll do the same thing. Seated twist. Again, let's wring it out in 3 parts. Lower back, shoulders, and then head. And slowly releasing. And same thing. To the left. Inhale. Exhale. Lower back rotates. And then middle. And then head. Spine tall. Wring out that towel. Stretch it out. Don't let the towel collapse. Inhale. And exhale. Releasing. Let's bring the soles of our feet together. Take the feet far away, okay? Just resting our hands on our shins or on our ankles. Let's just round over like we're rounding over a big fat beach ball. Head drops. Go ahead and bounce the knees a little bit. quiet the knees, pushing the soles of our feet together. Just round over, drape over. And now straighten out the spine. Come to a hip hinge. Sternum now reaches towards our big toes, taking the roundness out from our spine, making our spine rod straight. Inhale. And as we exhale, again, round over. You're going to feel the change. There's subtle differences in where we feel our stretches. And now take out the roundness on our spine, pulling forward into a hinge. Let's walk ourselves up. Let's come off of those blocks. Have a seat, stretch out the legs. Let's point the toes and flex. One more time, point and flex. Let's go ahead and lie down on the floor. Stretch out a little bit. Work on final relaxation. Let the feet be comfortable distance apart. Go ahead and wiggle out the legs. Feel free to lift the hips, realign the shoulders, finding ourselves in a nice, comfortable position. If laying flat here puts a little strain on the low back, maybe your hips are tight, I like doing this. Bend the knees, turn the toes inward, allowing the knees to drift towards one another. Takes that tension out from a tight lower back. Makes it feel a little bit better. So find what feels great for you. And let's just one more time focus on our breathing. Placing one hand on our belly. As we inhale, make that hand raise. And exhale, our hands should fall. Let's do that 4 times. Inhale. And exhale. There's 3. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Big inhale. Make the hands raise. Let all the tension fall away from our face, softening our chest muscles and our belly muscles. Let that softness radiate out through the arms and legs, fingertips and toes. Always remember this. We can have control. We just need to be wise in knowing what we can and cannot. And what we cannot, we let go. We breathe it out. We exhale it. Do not hang on to anything that does not serve you in a good way. Use breath to help you relax. Use breath to pause, center, and focus on ourselves. And let all that other stuff go. I hope you enjoyed today. Some different things doing today. And I hope your shoulders and your hips will thank you for it. Come again. I'll see you in a week. Thank you.